stick around and watch a stonemason have an existential crisis. And I'll let you guys be the judge of whether or not it was luck or judgment that got me out of this mess, because it was close at times, I tell you. So we're making this. I think we're going to call it a corbel. And the only information I really had to go off of, because as you can see, as you've seen in the last picture, that there's not a lot to go by, so I've just taken sizes and I'm going to make up my own templates. That'll be a section there. If you look through, I'm going to make a template to fit this. And then make a template to fit that. I'm also going to have to make a small template to fit these little molds here. Maybe like a full one here, and then I'm going to have to make a big one for in here. But first I'm going to have to find this curve by just working at some. Save your squares. Debbie, then that, you'll fuck your square. Try this. So we're just going to find our centre line here, and we're going to mark that centre line all the way around sort of the face of the stone here, and it's just going to give us a reference point there for the time being. It'll come off, we won't mark it back on the display, but I would advise if you just put a centre line into whatever you're dressing, make it a wedge so it sticks into the scribe marks. Okay, so we're going to take sizes from the drawing that we've made, and we're going to put it onto the face of the stone. And if you remember, we're going to then have to make templates so that we can put it side on through the stone. So these are just the big one. The top one is a 15mm centre, so it'll give me a 30mm bull, and the one underneath is 20mm. I went through a whole process of trying to actually understand how to do this, and this is sort of part of stonemasonry, is being able to find some of these curves from sort of limited information, and this is sort of where college really helps. The thing is, I actually got it wrong, the curve wrong, so I've had to fix it later on in the video. But so we're extremely limited for resources, because it's such a roofing company that I work for. I'm the first stonemason to ever have worked for the company, so I'm just trying to make this work. We can just replicate that in the back here. First, up there, so that'll look over there. Big curve bump in there, and then. So you get this size, transfer it to there, scribe your line. This thing weighs 282 kilos. So first you just want to find out the volume of the stone, then you can find out the density of that said material, and then you just times the volume by the density, and then you can get the weight. And because it's so heavy, you obviously need to come up with some methods to move it yourself. I've cut some of this thick foam up so that I can just stick it on and use it as a fulcrum and just move it. So we're just got to take of these bits to get this sunk. So first of all, to clear this corner, because you can't get in with the blade, you have to chisel these. So just rut it. I've got an internal there, so these need to be bang on before I start all this. This needs to be, I think this line might be the line I need. I'm just kind of winging this, to be honest. So I'm actually using a set of chisels that I've had since I was an apprentice, and I'm missing probably 3 chisels. I've just never really got round to buying them because I use the grinder so much. So if you're a stonemason and you're watching this and you're wondering why I'm using this, then that's why. I should actually be using a point for this, because... But that just shows you it's really soft. See? It breaks in your hand. So it's not great to be dressing, but we'll get there. Also, if you want to sponsor me and give me tools, feel free. But meanwhile, I'll just make do with what I have, and I'll try and make as good a job as possible with as limited resources as possible. You can be the judge. These bits are just nippy bits that you can't really get into with the grinder, so we're just going to have to finish them with the chisel. And here I'm using what's called a 2-inch scabler. I'm just using it to go over, I'll go back over in different directions of the stone and just make it completely flat and square. I'm not really sure here at this point, but I'm miles away from where I actually need to be because I started it completely wrong. Now, if I didn't clear this corner, I'm going to chip this. If I just whack that off, that's coming away. And it'll probably be going away anyway, but I need to keep as much as possible. I should have left this on yesterday. I got carried away. I should have left it on my side templates. Whatever. Ignore that. Alright, Michael. Right, so safe in. Make sure we're all clear. No chips. I can tidy up all the lines so it's looking a wee bit better. I'm going to keep this block in because this block needs to come away through here, which means we've got this much at the back to keep a weight, like a counterweight at the back, so that when this is sat on the wall, there's going to be a huge sort of chunky masonry up here and then at the back, and this should be less weight than this half combined, otherwise it'll tip forward and it'll be fucked. So I'm just finishing off a split here with the grinder. Like I said, just keep your trigger finger, just knock the grinder on and off, and that pencil line just basically needs to be cut in half. We'll call this inexperience, but in the next piece you're about to see, there's a huge chunk in the middle. That actually had to come out. I've actually just given myself so much more work just coming in, squaring in. Let's call it a learning experience. This fucking corner is causing me no end of hassle. There must be like an iron pocket in here, and it keeps fucking kicking. This is fine, it's gone down lower anyway. That's what happened. There you go there. It's like iron deposits in the stone. And when you're cutting with a grinder and you hit that, it kicks. It's a pain in the arse. Right, so to cut out your corners, you can only get so far with a grinder. So if you can literally just poke a chisel in and knock it away. Shit. Obviously I'm going to dig into this with a mill, but you can see now, it comes away pretty easily. They're fucking a bit hard chiseling and such. We have a new gift. So this is termed as a marginal draft. You're cutting in drafts with the chisel, squaring, draft, square, draft, square, draft, square, draft, square, until everything is square and flat. The good thing is that it sits on its own. So when we build that in, the weight should be in the back. And I just need to take this out now and scoop it under here. I've made a mistake. Fucking cut all the way through that. I think it's hidden in here, but I think I might have made a wee mistake. We'll see. Set a gauge, square, so just set it to where you need it to be, and then you'll cut along there with a grinder. You're going to, if you see any high bits, you should see it in there, and you should see it in here, and then just slowly take it off with a grinder cut, and then you want to just replicate that all the way across, and then you'll have tiny wee ribs, and hopefully you'll have not that much to take out. Then you should end up with something along these lines, and then you can just break it off. And now we need to basically chisel this down with a series of different chisels and get that down and square through, and that should be us. If we go through square, we should just have that point, and that should just be us complete. Like I said, it looks like there's a mistake here, but actually I managed to get away with it, luckily, and you'll find out at the end, because I had to drop my template back in and reapply templates. And I just wanted to actually put some chisel work in here so that you could watch instead of me taking this in with the grinder, I've decided to just take 10 minutes and just do some chisel work for the cameras. This is exactly where the mould needed to be, so we got away with it. So now just enjoy watching me chisel this in, and just have a look at the end product and let me see what you think. Was it luck or was it judgment? you've enjoyed seeing me struggle, help me out a bit, give me a like, give me a subscribe, even share me with your friends if you've got people that need to know this knowledge. Bye bye.